Good afternoon, Quasar Markets Live. I am so happy to be joined today by our trading mindset coach here at Quasar Markets, Agnieszka Wood. Agnieszka, how are you holding up on a day like today with all the mayhem?
Yeah, I actually, hi everyone. Hey Howard. I'm actually holding up pretty well, I have to say. Waiting patiently in the morning for things to settle and got my setup, got in, actually still in it, going pretty well. So
Good,
I'd
good.
say if
Glad
you
to
have
hear
the
that.
plan, you always have to have a plan.
Absolutely. I did buy the dip on Bitcoin and Solana, posted it on Twitter yesterday. Both have bounced back nicely. In fact, Bitcoin hit the mean reversion that one of our educators here at Quasar Markets, Jeremy Vreeland, had posted that I followed into.
Nice.
So, but here's a day where I think people can use a little bit of the advice that you just said without even leading them there. That's what I love about you. You don't beat us across the head, but you mentioned what you did, which was take some time this morning to assess and then make decisions on how you would react to those. Um,
Yeah, yeah, because like we just talked about, it's like, impact of what happened with the tariffs or with the whole night late time conference on X from Elon Musk. There's just a lot of things going on, and you have to have a good understanding what is the impact on everything pretty
yeah,
much of this type of moves. And I rather, because I don't have that deep understanding, it's like I'm not the economist, I'm not someone who knows exactly all ins and outs of how in depth this can affect us long term or short term. I rather just follow the price and I just wait for the market to settle, see what is the sentiment, where the price is going, and then see if I get my setup. And when my setup comes along and I see that the conditions are favorable, I trade my plan. And my stop is my sort of the safety net, my security. I stick to my plan. Not going to work out, well, there will be another one.
right. And you just said a bunch of different important parts there that are takeaways I have from spending some time with you over the last couple of months and with the other educators here at Quasar. Is you said it, you can have that sort of inner calmness when you have a thesis or a plan and you set it up. And you, as you also said, important part there, you set a stop loss so that if it doesn't turn out the right way, that it works,
Right.
that it doesn't maybe work in your favor, but you limit those losses. The last educator I just had on, Dr. Elman, brought up Bear Stearns, and that when people say no, everything comes back, sometimes they don't. Even if the airline, Spirit Airlines, comes back, that stock
Right.
is not coming back in the same way, and the people who owned it don't automatically get those shares back. So it can go to zero here in the actual world.
Right. And, to be honest, I have had the experience myself and I just stopped being stubborn. And I can tell you, I used to be very, very stubborn. Not because I like to be stubborn, but because I'm very ambitious and I always want my things to work out, right? And I always put a lot of effort into my plan working out. But in trading, you cannot do that. And the more you're pushing, the more you're pushing yourself away from where you want to be, and you're just hurting yourself. So it's just easier that way, I guess.
Right.
It's instead
Absolutely.
of resisting the market, resisting the direction of the price, you just follow it basically, and there is not so much room left for interpretation. It's either going the way that you thought it will or not.
And I think another
That is
takeaway
really
that I
what's
sort of
into it.
yeah, that I sort of got from you over the time too is, listen, no one goes 1,000%. The person who tells you that they're right 100% of the time on their trades is lying to you. So we also have to come to that realization. And I think it takes a little while for new traders to understand that it's okay to take a loss. It doesn't make you a worse a person than you were yesterday. It doesn't make you a
Right.
failure. And where we have to start to analyze is the stock that I was already in that maybe dropped 20% in the last day or two because of everything going on. Is it going to recover, or would I be better off putting that money into stock XYZ that is going to give me a better chance to recover that money? Because it's not about a, win or loss track record. It's about holding those dollars at the end of the day, right?
Right. I mean, if you are like, I think that's the first red flag. If you're waking up and you're shocked what happened and you're still in it, it's like, what was your plan in the first place? Like, things can happen, right? Just go to Amazon and get yourself a book, Black Swan, and you will
Yeah,
see. Is it called Black Swan? Actually, I think it is. About the Black Swan events in the market, and this is what
absolutely.
happened overnight. Is not really a black swan. This is something you could have anticipated. So
Right.
you got to be prepared for the unexpected. The market is uncertain, unpredictable, and it's risky. And if you want to thrive in those conditions, you cannot hope. That's not a strategy. Hope
Right.
is not a strategy here.
Not at all. We talk about that a lot. That's one of Big Beat's rules of trading, is that hope and, wishing are not a thesis or a strategy for trading. And it's,
Right.
the other part that I do try to get across to our viewers is, again, we talked about it last week. I think when you were on, we talked about VIX, right? When the VIX is at 20, you don't
Right.
want to be trying to buy that for protection. You want to be looking at the VIX when things are calm and there's no volatility like there was the beginning of last week, and it's hovering at 14, 15. That's where you want to buy that protection. So, I think it's important sometimes to look at those components also.
Right. And you see, like what you see on the screen is really a lot of what is really important to understand, that it is really about how you interact with the market. It is really about you as a trader. And things can go wrong, things can go great, but in the end of the day, at the end of the day, you are the one who will be dealing with the consequences of your own decisions. And now the question is, how do you want to feel at the end of the day, right? So the market will always do unexpected things. Um, if you are not prepared to deal with those, you will be also unpredictable. So you will become sort of part of the market and you will be pulled into it and you will be out of control. Just like the market is out of your control, you will be out of control.
That is a
So the
great point.
only
Great
yeah,
point.
and the only thing that you have is you. So instead of focusing on how can I outsmart the market, how can I try to control everything, it's like just focus on yourself because this is the only thing that you have control. And if you don't have it yet, then even more so, focus on it.
Right, absolutely, which is a great segue. I know you have exciting stuff going on this week. I've signed up. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. What do we have
Yes,
going on this week?
yes. There's the first ever trading psychology conference. It's online and it's completely free. It's organized by Tradefulness, and you can register still. It's still open, and you can register for 3 days of free content. There's about, I think, 19 presenters, and they will be talking across all kinds of different areas of trading, giving you tips, tools, and ideas how you can improve your trading and improve your psychology.
I did
So
put the
go
website
on.
right up here where you can sign
Fantastic.
up here, tradefulness.com underscore TPC or backslash TPC 2025.
Right.
I've also put down the bottom where you can find Agnieszka. If you go to her website, she has a link directly on the
Thank
top
you.
of it for you to get there. And I also told you how you could follow her on X. She puts some great information out there. So please make sure you do that.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
how many
Howard.
people are involved in this conference?
There will
Educators,
be, I think,
coaches.
18 or 19 presenters.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 3 full days, and it's actually really interesting. I got an email from someone who questioned the integrity of the presenters, and I want to mention this because this has to do a lot with the bias that traders have and how how people sometimes believe in things that say a lot about themselves, right?
Yeah.
So the person actually said the fact that the conference is during the trading hours makes me wonder if those presenters are trading themselves,
No.
which I thought it was such an interesting point of view, um, because it's really all about what do you believe, and all it tells me, like, just remember that everything we say really says a lot about ourselves, right? Because
Yep.
my question is, okay, so that person actually believes that you have to trade the whole day long
I
in
was about to
order to
say
be a
exactly.
trader, right?
That we talk about how that brings more problems in. And did that same person ask that
Correct.
question about Davos a couple of days ago when all of the world leaders were, convened, the financial leaders of the world were all in Switzerland hanging out with our good friend Stephen?
Right, right,
No one said
right,
who's doing, how can they do that? They can't be. Jamie Dimon is not really leading JP Morgan. He's over in
right.
Switzerland having a good time right now. That's not how the
That's
world
right.
works, right?
But it's a good realization to just understand that everything, the way you see everything, it's the reflection of yourself, and that's also the way you trade. So just kind of review your own perspectives, because how you think about yourself, other people, trading for that matter, is going to reflect in how you are sitting in front of your computers, how you trade, how you perceive the market, and everything else. So that was just really interesting. So, yes, I won't be trading while presenting, that's for sure.
Right. I mean, I don't trade while I'm on the air usually. I do sometimes in the morning,
You don't?
but I have to stop and tell you what I'm doing. And then you see me over here fuddling around with my phone or the
Right,
entry into
right,
my, app, whichever I'm using. And you can see it
right.
takes me 10 times longer than it normally does. So, the other part I'd point out is, for a lot of us, while we are full-time traders, we also have other jobs that are involved in the financial innovation, financial
Yeah,
technology, sector. It isn't one or the other. I can have my trades up on the side here. And again, like we talked about, a great trader already has their stop loss and their take profit in. So what do I
right.
need to do? What
Just
do I have
like
to
I
watch the
can
little bar go
talk
up
to
and
you.
down? Yeah. So
Right.
all
Because
you
that's
are is,
one of the times when you shake yourself out of your trade, right? When you start messing
absolutely.
with it. And yes, I have my trade going there, and I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything because I have everything in place. But that's just, I think at some point you probably grow into this, because I remember myself in the past, I could not stay away,
Yeah.
from just like
No,
almost like
and I
trying
have
to
actually had that
influence it.
philosophy in the past. Same thing. I used to watch CNBC before open and after close, and because I couldn't have
Right,
enough, it was too many inputs for me. I wouldn't watch it during. Now I've got that up. I've got Bloomberg here. I'm talking with you. I've got 6 emails coming in, and I'm still trading. If you can't
right.
multitask and trade, then you're going to have a lot of trouble trading because these
Well,
inputs come all day.
absolutely. And it's actually really nice that you said it, because I will be talking tomorrow in my presentation about all the forces that are being, that are kind of working its way on the trader while you're trading, while you are being a trader, right? There's so many different forces. And that is one of the things. All the noise, all the news, everything that's going on, there's just so much. It creates a lot of pressures, and
Right.
you have to be able to handle it. And I'm not saying that you have to listen to all of it, because if you cannot, then you shouldn't. But how do you actually listen to it, or are exposed to it, and still able to make decisions that are in
Right.
your best
Well,
interest,
you've said
right?
it. It's reaction versus, you know,
Response. Yeah.
response. It's there. Take it in. Take a second. See what's going on.
Right.
That's where the clear
Right.
minds tend to win. And there are so many traders again that it's. I guess the other part I would look at that too, and warn that trader that they're going to get into a tunnel vision. If you just focus at it, that chart will say whatever you want it to say. If you stare at it
Oh my
enough,
God. And that's
and
the perceptionist projection, what I was saying. It's like whatever you believe, you're gonna see,
yeah,
right? You will skew all the information in that way. And it's actually a good segue because to that presentation, what you see on the screen, remember last time we were
yep,
talking about the trading edge and consistency. So if you like if you look at what is really the thing that stops traders from success and what is really important here is like you have the strategy and you know it's working, right? You've seen someone else using it and you know you've seen yourself making money with it. But then there is this other part that is standing you in your way, the consistent execution.
right.
Having actually the discipline and the mindset to take that strategy and implement it consistently without hesitating, without doubting yourself, without, you know, thinking, oh my God, this guy on CNBC just said that. It's probably going to happen, right? Because
Yeah,
he said that. So
absolutely.
without being swayed, this is what gives you your trading edge. This is what makes you, yes, your strategy has to have an edge, but you are the biggest risk in
Without a
your
doubt.
trading.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
And if you
sabotaged myself all the time, and when I was starting out.
right, right. I mean, but a lot of times traders don't realize that they are the risk, right? So most of them, they're focused on strategy alone, looking for the holy grail, right? Testing new setups, new indicators, just thinking, okay, it's probably outside of me. Not giving the strategy the time that it needs to actually work. So if you don't do that, if you say, okay, today I'm going to try this strategy and today it didn't work for me, let me try something else, or let me immediately twist it. It's like you don't even give it a chance, this strategy to prove itself right for you, right? You
Yeah.
are just proving, oh, it's not working for me. So you have to have a certain sample size to actually prove something, right? With just one time, as we say, one time just confirms the exception, just confirms the rule, right? It's
Right.
just like not
Absolutely.
enough. So you really have to find a balance between your strategy, between the execution and the mindset. You as a trader, is my strategy, first of all, does this have positive expectancy? Is it actually working? Because it might not be working,
Right.
right? Is it aligned with you? Does it actually suit you as a person? Are you trying to scalp while you are very slow and you can't even push the buttons quick enough, right?
Right.
Or when you feel overwhelmed by all the, half a minute charts. Is this really suited what you are doing? Is it suited with you? Not everyone can be Formula One driver.
No, absolutely. And I
You
would even
have,
say that that goes to people that are perma bulls or perma bears and try to change because they talk to someone or they think that they can change their mindset. If your view is that
yeah,
you're an optimist and you want to buy those dips and you do it, you're probably not going to be very good at being someone that follows Heidenberg and one of those analysts that look to be a short seller.
right, right. And it's also like your personal characteristics, like are you risk averse?
Yep.
Because you might think, oh yeah, I like risking, but the moment that you have a risk on, you're panic. So maybe you are less risk, like you can handle risk worse than you wish you would.
Sure.
So if that's the case, you really have to see, is my strategy actually fitting my profile? Or am I wearing shoes that are too big?
Yep.
And yes, you can build emotional resilience. You have to regulate your emotions, not suppressing them. You have to learn mindset skills, absolutely. But this is going to be much easier if you wear clothes that are actually fitted to who you are. Not too big, not too small, but exactly the right for you. And yeah, mastering execution, this is really about your preparation and making sure that you stick to your plan.
Yep.
And that will require building some mindset skills, emotional resilience, It will require you to have the discipline, to have the integrity to do what you say. Because the discipline is not just like, oh, I have to do all these things that I don't like. The discipline is acting in your best interest. It's the mental discipline to constantly focus on your goal, on where are you going? What is it that you are trying to achieve here? Because a lot of times, you see, a lot of times, and I'm going to stop sharing, a lot of times people would say, I want to, uh, yes, I want to follow my plan. I really want to focus on the process. And in the back of their mind, they're like, I need to make money today.
Right.
I'm
Yep.
here to trade to make money.
That
What
is
do
the
you think is
problem.
going
The
to
best
win?
laid plans quickly get thrown out the door too many
Right,
times.
right. So yeah, if you want to get some new ideas, and I also would like to urge you that if you are watching the conference, there will be a lot of new ideas. I mean, I've been to conferences, which like one of them, which I love, is the Trader Lion.
Yep.
It used to be 2 days. This year it was like 6 days. There is so much information, so many ideas. Watch it, make notes, and do not throw everything that you're doing out of the window.
Right, absolutely. And I think it's like you said, these type of conferences, in my opinion, where you have this, is you'll find you watch it because you'll find the person that seems to gel with what you're looking to do. What I wouldn't be looking to do is, you're right, to change my whole world. I'm a bull. I tend to buy the dips and I play to the upside and I do this. And
Right,
then you're looking for someone who says, oh yeah, I'm a short seller and I do this and this is my philosophy. You're
right,
not going to meld with that person. If you're of a mindset where you don't do well with negative reinforcement, don't look for someone that's yelling and screaming at the screen. Look for someone that's being a little bit more supportive, maybe. But that's
right,
important here. And like you said, it isn't what I like about these type of things is you'll get a lot of different insights and you'll get to choose and you'll get to pick and choose little pieces from each person. It's not necessarily everything.
right.
Again, I don't want people all of a sudden to become Agnieszka Wood #2. And I don't mean that
Oh
in a
my
bad
God,
way.
please don't.
And I don't try to make people into Howard Greenberg #2. What I'm hoping is that you take little bits and pieces from what I do in my trading day, and it helps you become a more consistent, being the key there that you brought up earlier. Consistency in trading is where you win. If you don't have that
Right,
consistency, you can't expect to have consistent results.
right. And that starts with having consistency overall, in general, you as a person, having the consistency of having the discipline, the consistency of doing things that are serving you.
Right.
If you cannot do things that are serving you on a consistent basis, you will keep hurting yourself in trading. I've been there. I'm talking from my own experience, and I've seen it a million times from other traders. And it
Yep.
really, it sounds maybe strange to people. Like, what does that have to do with anything with trading? This is all numbers game. Well, you always take yourself with you. You will trade how you live, and if you don't know how to set your boundaries, when to say no to people, you will not know when to say stop to the market.
Right. No, and you'll listen to Twitter too much, or other social media or wherever you're getting your
Yeah,
news. If you're not able to manage those inputs like you've talked about and to compartmentalize them a little bit, then you'll get overwhelmed. There's just no doubt about it. You see it too much. We joke about diamond hands versus paper hands, but that's what we're talking about. The people who have diamond hands are the people who don't just immediately allow themselves to give a response. They allow
right.
themselves to react to what's going on, and then they formulate a response over time that is going to take in different factors. And we see it. You see it if you look at the charts and you look at the wicks, you can see that the indecisiveness by traders. And what you see is that what happens is the same people get stopped out of their positions or get capitalized within minutes. What happens is the rebound comes, right?
Right, right. And it really doesn't matter what someone else says. It's really about whether you trust yourself, whether you have the confidence to do the right thing when you need to. And it's very easy to damage this confidence, and it's very easy to get shaken when you start listening to other people. So, what is it that you can do to build that confidence? Literally, if this is your goal, I want to feel confident in my decisions, in my plan, that what I do is the right thing to do. Prove it to yourself. This is just like with anything else. We are constantly proving things to ourselves, whether they work or they don't work. And
Right.
we are the ones who are looking for those arguments. And depending on your belief, whether something works or not, you will be looking for those arguments. So if you want to prove to yourself that you don't know how to trade, you will find enough arguments to prove it. So
Without a doubt.
choose,
Right.
yeah, so choose the other way. If you want to be confident, start proving to yourself, oh, I had a plan, it didn't work out, and this is the reason why. Next time I'm going to do this and this and that. When you start proving those things to yourself based on numbers, based on data, it will be so much easier to prove to yourself that you actually know what's going on. And maybe you don't, but then you know exactly what to do. If you keep listening to other people and just following others, you will never know if it's them or if it's you, and you will keep blaming everything outside of yourself. But the last thing you will get is confidence.
Yeah, no, you won't get confidence. And the bottom line is you are ultimately the one that pushes that buy and sell button. So you have to have the conviction before you do it. And if you're just following someone else, you'll be the first one to paper hand out of that, because you don't, like I said, when I worked at Prosper, I couldn't believe the amount of people that would enter the signals, not knowing if they were looking for that stock to go up or down, because they're doing complicated options where it's a broken wing butterfly. So you want it to hit you want it to go right to that first strike, but you don't want it to hit the second, and they don't even know that, but they're entering it because they heard a professional say this was a good trade. Well, how are you going to be able to manage that trade if you don't even know if you're looking what you're looking for?
Yeah, and that's I can say it's mind blowing, but I know I've been there. I know I've been there, and I know how easy it is to do that when you haven't built that confidence, or actually when you completely don't even know where to start and how to build that confidence, because you think that taking losses is showing that you don't know what you're doing. But taking losses can mean so many different things. The fact that
Right.
you are losing, you might have emotional resilience problem, you might have some limiting beliefs problem, or simply you don't have the confidence. But looking up to someone else and like taking their orders is not gonna help it.
No, you're not gonna grow. And it's funny too, because what I notice is, again, a lot of retail traders, get very stubborn in that they know all the answers already and have all of the solutions to sort of trading correctly. But meanwhile, when I talk to the professionals, again, that have access to at Quasar, that's not how they feel. Is, as soon as you mention that, I'm using Chat GPT to look at my trades from this one. Wait, what did you say? How do you do that? Can you show me? And this is coming from people like Matthew Tuttle, the president and CEO of Tuttle Capital, who has $4 billion under management under his fingertips. And he was on the other day on Quasar Markets, and I told him what I was using our AI for. He immediately couldn't wait for a phone call as soon as we got off the air to discuss it in more. That's what you find from the successful traders and successful people in general, right? They listen more than they talk.
Totally, because there's always more to learn. My students always thank me, like, oh, I've learned so much from you. I'm like, I've learned from you the equal amount, if not
Absolutely.
more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thank
they
you, and
teach
thank you
me
for
because
doing
they
the
put
work.
things into situations that I wouldn't have gotten into. So then I learn how I
Yeah.
react to them, or how they should react to
Yeah.
those. So it does
Yeah.
help a lot. I feel the same way. It's what I love about being here at Quasar, is I learn so much every day from talking to educators like yourself, and all the other great educators we have here, because there's so many different trading styles. There's so many different specialties, people that do so many things, people like yourself that are teaching better habits and working on your mind, because it is so important in your trading. And again, people who don't realize that's the case and don't think that
Yeah.
is situation to people who don't learn the full parts of what are the Greeks when it comes to options. How are you trading an option if you don't know how those things will affect your price? To people who buy stocks or crypto that they don't even know what they're supposed to be doing. Those stocks
Yeah,
are
like, oh, I've heard someone said this, like, oh yeah, then
so
I
I'm going
probably
in,
should do
right?
it.
And
Yeah,
that isn't
yeah,
the way we want you to learn here.
yeah.
Agnieszka, I know you're a busy person. Tomorrow you have this huge day. I can't wait to join you and see what
I
you
can't
guys
wait to
have
see
to
you guys
offer
there.
in that conference. Thank you again for joining us. We'll have you back on Wednesday. So thank you
That's
so
right.
much and have a fantastic
Thank you,
day.
Howard, for having me. And you too. Thank you, everyone. Take care.